What's up, people? Nature Girl 30 here. And as you can see, I have not done a lot of these videos lately. I have been exhausted. But regardless of that, this is a mini Q&A based on the questions that you guys send me every week. And I thank you for you sending me questions. But like I said in my other video, I unfortunately have to screen questions because either they're too racist, too offensive towards my friends or myself. So unfortunately, I have to screen these questions. And if there's any relation to Mr. Griffin or the Lex Man, I will not be answering those either because those are questions that you should be sending to them, not to me, because I cannot answer those questions. But now that I got the final disclaimer out the way that I will never be mentioning again, and now you guys understand, let's get started with this mini Q&A. I actually do have questions on YouTube as well as on Twitter, but let's get started with the YouTube questions first. The first set of questions comes from Justin Side. Thoughts on Katy Perry? She's not bad. She's actually had a lot of hits lately, and she had a really great Super Bowl show. So I have absolutely no complaints about her. My favorite song, of course, is Dark Horse. And there's a few other songs that I really do like that she actually did. But yeah, she's a really great talent, and she's definitely learning as she goes. And the next question for me is thoughts on Kevin Hart. I don't really think Kevin Hart is that funny. There's some movies that he has done that really portray him to be funny, but he has the same old shtick day in, day out. There's not really anything new about him. But he's not a bad comedian. He's just not as funny as, well, yeah, I hate to make the comparison, but it seems to me that more African American comedians, and this is just my opinion, try to be more like Chris Rock. There's only one Chris Rock. Chris Rock gimmick works. Not to mention, Chris Rock actually changes with the times. He's just very outspoken and passionate about it. But everybody tries to take that formula and try to become another Chris Rock, and for me, it just don't work. Kevin Hart, somewhat similar, but not completely. He is a hard worker because you pretty much see him in every movie that's coming out lately. So, yeah, I will say that about him. But, I don't know, in my opinion, he's not that funny, but he's not terrible. But great questions, man. The next set of questions actually comes from Captain Jeff 87. Thank you, Captain Jeff. I actually do like your name. Awesome, man. But anyway, with the WWE coming out with a card game, WWE Supercard, and the Mortal Kombat spinoff, Immortals, what game do you think will be next? Honestly, I'm kind of laughing at the whole Immortals thing because we all know that it's pretty much the same engine that was used for DC versus Mortal Kombat. DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat, the Voldemort of the video game world. But I laughed at that a bit. But honestly, I would not be surprised the next game would probably be a card game. I mean, not card game, but a board game. They actually did do a Monopoly version of the WWF Attitude Era. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do the current version for WWF for this, I guess, for this generation. I really wouldn't be surprised. That's the only place they can go. They already got video games and they already got card games. Board games makes more sense. That's just me. Your next question is, do you think that the network would fail by the end of the year? No. The one thing I'll say about the WWE network is it's new. It's a whole new concept. There'll be epic fails. There'll be epic triumphs. Just like the OWN network, Oprah had nothing on the OWN network. She created her own network, but with no shows. But over time, she started getting a huge fan base with some of the people that everyone knows and loves, like Dr. Phil came on OWN, as well as Tyler Perry coming on OWN. But regardless of that, it took some time, but they ended up now getting out of the red and into the black. And people are now watching their channel, and the channel is now becoming popular. The same thing with WWE Network. They have a lot of content. They have a lot of great ideas when it comes to some of the shows. For those that actually do have a network, my suggestion to you is to actually sit down and watch Legends House. For those that remember the Golden Era like I do, or for those that actually are fans of Roddy Piper, and there are people that know who Piper is, you will love this show. It actually does give you an idea of what these men go through when kayfabe was the strongest that it was. But it's really a great show, and I can't stress it enough. For anybody that has a network, you gotta watch that show. Seriously, it's really, really great. Besides the documentaries that everybody already knows. And that's just me personally. But anyway, no, I don't really think it's going to fail towards the end of the year. I think it's going to grow from here. But like I said, you're going to have to lose money. You have to put money in to make money. And how much money you put in my opinion, shows the quality of the product. So I really believe that they're going to be fine towards the end of the year. It's just they may have to make some changes. That's pretty much it. With the annual spring cleaning coming up a month or two, who do you see getting released? Okay, I see Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel. I was gonna say Tyson Kidd, but if it wasn't for the whole Natalya storyline, then yeah, he's safe for now, in my opinion. Probably Titus O'Neil. Yeah, and I really, as for the divas, I'm not seeing Eva. I mean, not Eva. Yeah, I'm not seeing Eva Mendes there for that long. I'm really not seeing it. I'm really seeing that she might not be there that long. Especially the fact of how she's portrayed on Total Divas is not really the best light. I don't really see her staying that long. And I hate to say it because I was rooting for her, but I don't know. I think she's probably the one that's next. But those are definitely the ones I particularly see may not be there that long, but I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong because that sucks. Knowing that spring cleaning is going to happen and knowing that you're going to be the one that's going to get axed, it just sucks. Especially if it's doing the thing you love the most. But my final set of YouTube questions comes from Final Limits. What if the WWE had a match Roman Reigns and Cena? Who would the fans cheer for? Cena. Right now, Roman Reigns is practically the black sheep of, well, I guess it's probably a bad way of saying black sheep, but I'm just going to say that the WWE Universe pretty much turned against him. There's really nothing that Roman Reigns can do except for lose that would make the fans happy. So even though a lot of people don't like Cena, they would rather cheer for Cena than Roman at this point in time. So definitely Cena. Who would you like Bryan to fight at Mania of the three? Sorry, I have allergies. Ziggler, Brock, or Sheamus? Brock freaking Lesnar. The reason why is because, number one, Daniel Bryan has the same fighting background as Brock Lesnar. His stamina is a lot higher than pretty much at the same level as Brock Lesnar. His intensity is at the same level as Brock Lesnar. His strength is as close to being at the same level as Brock Lesnar, grappling wise. It's like a David versus Goliath kind of tale, and for crying out loud, the WWE loves things like that. Not to mention that people have been rooting for Daniel Bryan since he came out, since he became a face again. People have been rooting for him, and it will be a great match to see Brock versus Bryan. That's just me. I'm rooting for that. It will be a great match. It will be extremely intense, and it will definitely give Brock a run for his money. These matches aren't challenging for him. It will really be challenging to see Daniel Bryan in there. Seriously, straight up. And I would love to see that happen. That's just me. Have you heard of Dolph Ziggler and Ryback becoming tag team partners? I hope not. I really hope that that's just a lie. You know, because honestly, I don't really see a lot of chemistry between Ryback and Ziggler. I just don't. But Dolph Ziggler is very versatile when it comes to him wrestling anyone. Like, when it comes to anyone that he's in the ring with, he has really great chemistry with that individual, and he knows how to work with them. So maybe he might make Ryback look good, because lately, when Ryback turned face, yeah. But, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I don't really like the idea, because I can't imagine Ryback being a tag team partner to anyone. But we'll see how it goes. Moving on from there. Thoughts on Paris Hilton and her sister Nikki. I don't have any problems with her. I will admit, I actually do kind of respect Nikki more because Nikki's trying to make a name for herself without using her last name. And she's been trying to be a serious fashion designer for many, many years without people, trying to She's been trying to be a serious fashion designer for many years without using the Hilton name, and she's trying to get herself out there. She went to college to find out, trying to get more ideas about being a fashion designer, and I appreciate and kind of respect her more than Paris. But even though Paris has made more money just being her, and we know what really got her out there, she was pretty much the first celebrity that, no, she's the second celebrity that, well, I can't necessarily say that Pam Anderson got famous for her sex tape, but I would say that she's the first celebrity that got famous from her sex tape. Not the fact that she's the first one that created one. She's the first one that got famous by it. And by that, she was able to go with it, which is cool, but honestly, yeah, I have a lot more respect for Nicki than her. But I got no beef with her. I really can't, because I'm poor compared to her. But anyway, thoughts on Bobbi Kristina's situation, being found being unresponsive in a bathtub and in a coma in the hospital right now. Honestly, I got the updates from her on the radio as well as on Facebook, but the first time I found out was via Twitter. It's heartbreaking because we know that she's been going through a lot of issues after her mom passed away. And, that's hard on anybody, especially after losing your mom. That can't be easy on anyone, and she was going through a lot. Even though she got married, and even though that right now the family is slamming it, saying that they weren't married at all, even though they were. And also, it's a huge fight over her. I think she has a $200 million fortune. That is that I think Whitney actually put in her will. I think Whitney kind of left her fortune to her. But there's also a fight over her money, and honestly, it just made her spiral into a depression, and that's just sad. It breaks my heart to know that happened to her. It breaks my heart to see what her dad is going through, because that's his only child with Whitney. His only child. That's gotta hurt a lot. And it breaks my heart to know that she's in that condition. All I can say for those, for those that, well, they're okay with prayer, just pray for her. Pray for her and pray for her family, what they're going through right now. Because right now, it's in God's hands. Her condition is in God's hands. And all I ask is just to pray for her and her family at this point in time, because they must be going through a lot right now. Oh, yeah, and I actually did forget a question from Captain Jeff 87. Did you watch Stone Cold's podcast with Triple H, and did you agree with what he said about the Attitude Era being easier because the crowd wasn't as diverse as it is today, despite the fact that kids had always watched wrestling? Okay. I actually had a chance to watch the podcast, and I actually had a chance to hear the question that you did mention. Now, I don't really agree with what Triple H said about how diverse the Attitude Era was, fan-wise, because honestly, I will say this. The whole theme of that podcast, in my opinion, was the fact that kayfabe is officially dead, which actually did start the reality era. And we're not in the PG era anymore, folks. We're in the reality era. But either or, yeah, I don't really agree with the fact that he said the fans were more diverse. The fans kind of expected wrestling to be extreme, and in the 90s, it was all about being extreme. Everything was extreme, extreme. We had extreme toothpaste, extreme paper towels, extreme everything, extreme deodorant. We had extreme everything, and it fit in the mold of what pop culture was. Not to mention, it had a lot more creative license back then, and allowed their characters to be what they wanted to be. We had gimmick characters, we had anti-heroes, we had faces, we had heels, we had a huge, and we had like a whole lot of factions everywhere. We had censor factions, we had party factions, we had serious factions, we had factions. There's a lot, it was a lot more diverse for the characters, which made you like whatever you wanted because you had that option. Right now, we have only faces and heels. That's it. We don't have anti-heroes anymore. And when we do, it's a rare treat to actually enjoy an anti-hero, because we only had two. In the history of the WWE and WWF, we've only had two good anti-heroes. Two! People may say Taker, but no, Taker's a heel, dude. Taker's a heel straight out. You know, there's really no change about that. But either or, we've had 2 good ones. But as of it being more diverse, no, I don't really see that. I think everybody liked the same guy. Everybody liked their own different character. They had fun with it, and I think people really did enjoy it. But I don't really agree with what Triple H said. But I will agree with him with this. Kayfabe is officially dead because of the internet, because of the Facebook, and because of the fact that people are finding out early what's going on behind the scenes, and people starting to learn more about the business. Yeah, kayfabe is officially dead, but I know that wasn't your question. But yeah, I know I don't agree with what he said at all. That's just how I just don't really agree. But all in all, that's his opinion, and I really do believe that that Paul actually handled it pretty well, especially when it came to some of the questions that was asked. So my suggestion for y'all who do have the network, who haven't seen the podcast yet, to go back and actually watch it on the network. And for those that don't have it, let's just say you're going to have it free for the entire month of February to actually have that experience. And I can't believe I'm promoting the network. So I'm definitely going to move on from there to the final set of questions that I actually got from Rio Harold via Twitter. As soon as I'm able to pull it up. Okay. His question for me is this. What if Roman Reigns... oh boy, a Roman Reigns question. What if Roman Reigns was accidentally eliminated in the Royal Rumble match? Okay. People will be happy, but there's another twist about this. Now, people will be happy if Daniel Bryan was still in it. If Daniel Bryan was still in the Royal Rumble and Roman Reigns got eliminated, people would actually be happy because they want to see Daniel Bryan win. They want to see Daniel Bryan go up and reach that brass ring like they expected in the storyline, since he had a strip from him from the Authority. That's something that people want to see. They want to see that story. But if he did get eliminated still, if Daniel Bryan got eliminated still and Roman Reigns got eliminated still, it wouldn't matter because it wouldn't be Roman Reigns. It'll be somebody different. And people are like, oh, okay, let's see what's going to happen from here. They'll be interested from there. But if Roman Reigns accidentally got eliminated and Daniel Bryan was still in it, like I said, they'll be happier. But if both of them were gone, then they'll still be intrigued to see who would actually win. So either or, it'll be a win-win for everybody. That's my opinion. And your final question for me is, what if Nature Girl 30 was at a WWE event and Roman Reigns went to do the Superman punch to his opponent, and the opponent moved out the way and he accidentally punched me? Thanks. That really shows the love that you have for me, dude. Honestly, if I really did see a Superman punch coming towards me, I would duck or move aside. I would not want to be punched in the face. Seriously. Because usually at a WWE event, I try not to be on my phone. So hopefully I'm paying attention. But thanks for the love. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for sending me questions. If you have any more questions to send them to me via YouTube or on my Twitter page at RKH30 #NatureGirlQ&A. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.